In terms of amending the Constitution, the pertinent provisions are found in Article 17. Okay? Amendments to revision of this Constitution may be proposed by Congress upon the vote of 3/4 of all its members or a constitutional convention. Now, ano ba ang amendments? Amendment refers to a change that adds, reduces, or deletes, but without altering the basic principles involved. In other words, konting pagbabago. What example could we give? Article 6, Section 5. Article 5, Section 1. Suffrage may be exercised by all citizens of the Philippines not otherwise disqualified by law who are at least 18 years of age. That's the provision of Section 1, Article 5. If we propose that instead of 18, we make it 21, that's an amendment. Okay? Kasi wala naman na bago kundi edad. Iisang provision lang. Now, revision, walang kinalaman yung yung picture. Okay? Broadly implies a change that alters the basic principle in the Constitution. Ano yon? Altering the principle of separation of powers and checks and balances. Diba? Example, ang nakalagay sa ating Constitution, Section 1 of Article 2, the Philippines is democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all governmental authority emanates from them. Let's say we propose that we change democratic and republican, make it monarchical. The Philippines is a monarchical state. That constitutes revision because it would alter the structure of our government. Diba? Now, why is there a need to distinguish amendment from revision? The distinction is necessary and crucial because, according to the Supreme Court, people's initiative can only be used to amend the Constitution, not to revise the Constitution. You cannot utilize people's initiative to revise the Constitution. Okay? Now, in the case of Lambino versus Comelec, the Supreme Court provided two tests to determine whether the proposal constitutes an amendment or revision. Okay? What about quantitative test? It asks whether the proposed change is so extensive on its provision as to change directly the substantial entirety of the Constitution. In other words, yung buong prinsipyo, napakarami ang babaguhin mo. So the more changes you propose, they are revisions. The less changes you propose, that means amendment. But there's another test, the qualitative test. It does not refer to the number of provisions proposed to be changed. Rather, it refers to the overall impact of the proposal to the entire Constitution. We can cite that earlier example from Democratic Republican. There is just one or two words being replaced by one, making it monarchical. Under the qualitative test, that constitutes revision, not amendments. Okay? So what are the stages in the amendments or revisions of the Constitution? You have proposal. Okay, sana naman, mahal yung ring. And number 2, ratification by the people in a plebiscite. So let us take a look at the proposal. Take note, regardless of the manner of proposing changes, at the end of the day, it will be the electorates, the people, who will decide whether they accept the proposal or not. Hindi tayo pwedeng pilitin. Diba? So how do we propose? Congress, by a vote of 3/4 of all its members. Or Constitutional Convention, or people's initiative. Okay? So yan ang paraan ng pag-propose. Didiscuss natin isa-isa. And that was our session in the Senate na kung saan pinag-usapan ito, no? Ayan. Okay? So what about Constituent Assembly? Alam niyo, ang Constitution hindi ginagamit yung Constituent Assembly. Ha? Ang ginagamit niya, 3/4 of all its members. Okay? So the problem is, Congress is composed of the Senate and the House. How should the voting be done? The Constitution is silent. If the Constitution wanted the voting to be done separately, it is indicated that voting should be done separately. If the Constitution wanted the voting to be done jointly, as in the declaration of martial of the President, it is indicated that the voting should be done jointly. But here, it is not so indicated. So we cannot presume. Now, based on the records of the Constitutional Commission, and as admitted dun sa Senate hearing na yun ni Justice Ascuna, at saka si Chairman Christian Munsod, sila yung mga members ng CONCOM na naroroon. Ang sabi, it was adopted from the 1973 Constitution. And remember, the 1973 Constitution provided for a unicameral assembly, yung batasang pambansa. So isa lang. Kaya pag sinabi niyan 3/4, ay di alam na. Now, during the voting to decide whether to have a bicameral or unicameral assembly, the bicameral assembly won in the voting. So nagkaroon ng Senate and the House. At ito, nagmamadali yung tita Cory nyo, hindi na yata ito na i-adjust. Okay? So that's why we need to go to the Supreme Court to have it interpreted. How should the voting be done? Is it joint or separate? Now, if you were to ask me, to my mind, joint session, para isahan na lang yung mga proposal, kung gusto nila yan, makakuha sila ng 3/4, pero separate voting. Diba? Because if you allow a joint voting, the members of the House will outnumber the 24 senators. Mawawalan sila ng boses. And practically, even in crafting a law that will just change the name of a street, the voting is done separately. So how much more in a very important legislation or important piece of law called the Constitution, na kayo ay mag-joint voting? But do not take my word for that. We need to go to the Supreme Court. Can we go to the Supreme Court right now? Yan yung tanong kayo na doon sa DWIC. Ang sagot, hindi po. Because there is no actual case or controversy yet. The Supreme Court cannot give you an advisory opinion. Diba? It cannot give an opinion. There must be an actual case or controversy filed by the proper party at the earliest opportunity. Okay? And it is the very least mo tayo. Totoo na yun kasi Constitution ang issue dito eh. So assuming nakakuha sila ng 3/4 at nasettle ng Korte Suprema paano ang botohan, Congress will stop legislation and propose changes to the Constitution. Naku, delikado yan. Sila mismo ang gagawa ng mga pagbabago. Di ba? That's one. 2. Congress, Constitutional Convention tayo, by a vote of 2/3 of all its members. Again, hindi natin alam how the voting should be done. We go back to the same problem. Is it joint or separate voting? Since the Constitution did not say so, we cannot presume. So we need, again, to go to the Supreme Court, assuming this will be done, and let the court decide. So assuming nakakuha sila ng 2/3, and the nature of voting was settled, whether joint or separate, Congress will create a law, enact a law, establishing a constitutional convention. The law will contain all the details. How many members? How long should they be serving? How much is their salary? Should they be appointed or elected? But to my mind, they have to be elected by the people to make the framers of the new Constitution the true representatives of the people. Because in 1986, at napikon yung isang member ng CONCOM, katakot-takot yung paliwanag niya. In 1986, they were pinpointed by Cory Aquino. They were good people, they were overqualified. But the problem was, they were not elected by the people, they were pinpointed by Cory Aquino to create that Constitution of 1987. Di ba? But in our experience, 1934, huwag nyo na isama yung kay Aguinaldo. Mga appointed din yun eh. 1934, Constitutional Convention that created the Commonwealth Constitution of 1935, they were elected. 1971 Constitutional Convention that created the 1973 Constitution, they were elected. Kaya nga lang, yung Constitution na nangyari, yung gawa ni Marcos, hindi yung ginawa nila. Yun ang sabi. Ayan. So ngayon, there's another way of calling a convention na na-overlook palagi ng maraming tao. Ano ito? When Congress will only get a majority vote. Diba? Hindi masyado na-emphasize yan eh. Again, we go back to the same problem of voting. Is it joint or separate? Assuming it is settled and Congress was only able to get a majority vote, it is a tedious process because Congress needs to enact a law asking the people, tayo, may plebiscite agad. Do you want to have a constitutional convention? If the people would say no, then it's dead on arrival, back to the old constitution. If the majority of the voters would say, yes, we want to have a constitutional convention, then Congress will enact another law creating a constitutional convention. Bakit mas mahaba ang trabaho? Kasi majority vote lang ang nakuha nila, hindi two-thirds as required by the Constitution. Di ba? So, who will compose the Constitutional Convention? How many of them? How much is their salary? Should they be appointed? Should they be elected? Well, it depends on the law that will be created then by Congress. Okay? So, yung dalawa. What about people's initiative? Under Article 17, Section 2, amendments to this Constitution. Remember, amendments. Wala nakalagay na revision. May likewise be directly proposed by the people through initiative. How? Upon a petition of at least 12% of the total number of registered voters, of which every legislative district must be represented by at least 3% of the registered voters. Delikado ito talaga, no? Kasi 12%, sige. All legislative districts. Halimbawa, ang Maynila, mayroong 6 legislative districts. Yung isang congressman, ayaw niya ng People's Initiative. Di, mangangampanya siya doon sa kanyang mga constituents. Di hindi makakuha ng 3% doon. Di wala na. Dead on arrival na yan. Okay? Now, itong provision na ito ng People's Initiative, according to the Constitution, the Congress shall provide for the implementation of the exercise of this right. So it is now thrown upon the Congress. And Congress enacted Republic Act 6735. Okay? Ito yun. Ngayon, during the time of Mr. Ramos, there was a move, yung pirma, to amend the Constitution kasi sigurado sila mananalo si ERAP eh. Siya yung Vice President noon. So there was a move to amend the Constitution by a People's Initiative using Republic Act 6735. At nagpapirma ang PIRMA, People's Initiative for Reform, Modernization, and Action. That was their acronym. No? At nung nakapirma na, dinala sa COMELEC for verification. Ang sabi ng COMELEC, sige, nag-comply. Pero maraming allegations na kahit patay na, pinapirma pa. Paano nakapirma yung mga patay na? Ano? And then may mga pinangakuan ng bigas, etc. etc. So ito na nangyari. Senator Miriam Santiago and several others questioned that initiative to the Supreme Court. And according to the Supreme Court, Republic Act 6735 is incomplete, inadequate, or wanting in essential terms and conditions to use this initiative to amend the Constitution. Di ba? Kasi masyado raw in-empower ang COMELEC. Okay? So, incomplete. Now, insofar as initiative to propose amendments to the Constitution is concerned, Republic Act 6735 miserably failed to satisfy both requirements in subordinate legislation. The delegation of the power to the COMELEC then is invalid. O, di ba yung subordinate legislation sinasabi nating delegation kanina So therefore, the COMELEC was issued a permanent injunction that you cannot verify signatures for petition to amend the Constitution via people's initiative. There was a permanent injunction issued to the COMELEC. Kaya, nung panahon naman ni Gloria Arroyo, meron namang mga nagpetisyon. Yung grupo ni Attorney Raul Lambino. Okay? Para amyandahan na naman ang Constitution using people's initiative. Now, the COMELEC rejected the petition for verification of signature. Why? Kasi meron silang permanent injunction from the Supreme Court in the case of Santiago. So, nireject ng COMELEC, di siyempre, mag-file ka ng motion for reconsideration to the COMELEC Anbang. Denial by the COMELEC Anbang, katulad din ng appeal from COA, pupunta ka sa Supreme Court, hindi ka nandiyan ng Court of Appeals, no? Using Rule 64. Petition for certiorari under Rule 64. You only have 30 calendar days to do that. Okay? Pagdating sa Supreme Court, during the oral argument, I was listening, tinatanong ang Solicitor General at the time, 2006, ang Solicitor General was yung naging justice na si Congressman Natura. Justice Natura. Siya yung Solgen at the time. Tinatanong siya nung yung mga justice ng Supreme Court. Kasi siyang representative ng government, hindi ba? So what have the government done from 1997 in the case of Santiago until 2005 o 2006 ngayon about that case of Santiago versus COMELEC? Had there been any change in the circumstance that would warrant the revisiting of the Santiago ruling? And the Solicitor General could not say anything because he knew for a fact, dahil congressman din dati ito that Congress did not do anything to amend Republic Act 6735. Nung sa panahon ni Santiago versus COMELEC, idineklara itong incomplete anong ginawa nyo? Walang ginawa. Therefore, ano sabi ng Korte Suprema? If that is what you did to the law, then there is no need to revisit the Santiago ruling. Why? There is no substantial change Of course, you can always cite the dissenting opinion of Justice Puno at the time. But the majority was saying there is no need to revisit the Santiago ruling because there is no substantial change between then and now as regards Republic Act 6735. Di ba? And, as I said earlier, regardless of how you propose, what are your proposal, at the end of the day, it's the sovereign Filipino people who would decide. Di ba? Tayo ang mag-ratify niyan. Okay? At ang ratification, must be scheduled not earlier than 60 days but not later than 90 days after the approval of the proposal by Congress or Constitutional Commission as the case may be.